Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Wired and the media and how all of these websites are transitioning into, once again, just like 2016, anti-Trump websites.
Oh, the TDS is just off the charts some of these places.
And it's actually trumping what their original purpose was. Wired was supposed to be a tech magazine, and if you go to their homepage, it's just all politics, right? It's the same with the Mary Sue. We noticed it the other day too. We're like, you know, one of the most popular stories on the Mary Sue were they're all Trump stories, and I think
they're all turning into these, you know, super far leftist mouthpieces, and they're just spending all their time. They're just basically news networks are trying to walk some stuff back so they look more like they're, you know, unbiased in the news. These guys are just going further and further and further in the paint, harder in the paint.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this because even now, this is where it gets weird. Wired actually bought Reddit at one point, and they're both owned by or have substantial investments by this Advance Publications, and they
own 30% of Reddit.
Yeah, 30% of Reddit, but they also own part of Warner Brothers. They own part of Charter. They own Condé Nast, which is Teen Vogue, right? We talked about Teen Vogue, about how Teen Vogue went from giving you advice on what dress to wear to prom to how to have oral with your boyfriend or anal with your boyfriend or whatever. You know, it's very how to fist. I mean, seriously, these are the kinds of articles that are on these websites. And, you know, you're starting to see this kind of congealing, I guess, of you know, the content into politics. They're all going into politics, and they're all going to be this just kind of this gray goo of homogenous anti-Trump stuff.
The
blue goo.
But
that's it. Like, what is the purpose of having? What differentiates Wired from your other publications if you're just going to talk hard politics on here? Like,
it was supposed to be a tech blog, and now when I went on, I was looking for like tech news, and when you search tech news, this one comes up as one of the main results for tech news. But when you go to their blog, it's like there's some tech stuff in there, but the majority of it is super political, far leftist. I mean, they're not even trying to appear like they're unbiased stuff. And I was like, wow, the TDS on here is just insane. And we were talking about it, and you wanted to make a video about it, but it's just, I couldn't believe it. They're supposed to be Wired, which was a tech site, and now it's just almost all politics. Some tech, but majority is politics.
Yeah. Oh, here are a couple of reviews in here. I think I do more reviews on this channel now than they do on freaking Wired. And Wired used to be, again, it was a site you went to. It was kind of like pre-Linus Tech Tips, and it was just, you know, it was just tech news. It was a magazine, and I know that that's not a thing anymore. But they're all going this direction. Rolling Stone used to be a music magazine, and now it's just politics.
Yes, that's all it is. It's all politics all the time, and because the people that like the stuff that they've always pandered to are the ones that are going, you know, shit extreme, and that's why we're seeing them just pivot to this stuff because they're going extreme. The writers are going extreme.
It's their first topic here. If you go down. Scroll down here, politics, then security. We're not even calling it tech anymore. We're calling it security. Then science. Okay. Business. Finally, the fifth category, gear news, reviews, culture, which is still, sorry, MAGA. Turns out people still like woke art, what to watch. Then podcast, and here's all politics too.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Politics on one side, mostly.
I mean, this is like, they're all doing this. All these blogs, and I think they're doing it because they're dying, and we've talked about this.
And they're trying desperately, because the people that are there are activists first, so they're trying desperately to magnify their opinions and voices, because, you know, people are getting sick of their shit.
So here's what's going on. We've talked about this before, and we'll talk about more after this. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. And we still are probably 90 to 95% pop culture. The only time we talk about this kind of stuff is when it crosses over into pop culture. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing even more people on, you know, I would say more based media outlets leaning more into the politics now because it's good for business, right? I think the gains are very short term.
Here's me. It's like, I don't want to tell people what to think. Like,
no.
I'm just going to look at. We try to look at things and look at both sides, and then try to give you what we think about is going on. And a lot of times these places don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to think their way and tell you what to think. We don't do that.
What is this? One woman's mission to rewrite Nazi history on Wikipedia. I mean,
I'm not wired for tech news. I don't give a shit.
Where are the computer reviews? Oh, this little strip. See this little tiny strip shoved in between people are protesting data centers and Apple upgrades. Okay, well, Apple will give you that one. But then we have Ice Baby. Ice Baby. Ice Baby. That's going to be the title of the video. Ice Baby. And then reviews for tech. But it's this little tiny strip in between all the... Like, what the hell are you doing, right? Mm-hmm. And Reddit, which, again, is owned by the same company that Wired is, they said 2 years ago, is Wired just given up on fact-checking, publishes facts-optional screed against Section 230 that gets almost everything wrong. It used to be that they were the site that you go to or the magazine you go to get things like that right. And it's like, well, we just have to be, we can't really be bothered with the tech news anymore. We got to talk more about Trump.
Because you got these people in there that are activists and all they care about is pushing politics. And they need to be told, if their overlords care, they need to be told to go back to, stick to sports type situations, in this case, stick to tech.
I don't think they do. Here's what I think. I think they're hanging on by their fingertips, and they're overlords for the most part. The ones that aren't worried about getting sued are probably like, bring us views. It doesn't matter how. So they're going out and like doing Reddit stories. Like, what the hell is this? This is on the Mary Sue, who Rachel Leichman's actually the
They're not
editor.
owned by the same people.
No, they're not. But it's the same mentality that these websites are dying. So they're like, because everybody's listening to podcasts and whatever. So it's really hurting the space. So this is the Mary Sue. It's supposed to be pop culture, right? Can you ask Dollar Tree to hold items for you? Michigan woman calls about Valentine's Day cassettes to find out. Your Dollar Tree answers the phone. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? And then RFK, Trump, and Sydney Sweeney. Who are the grifters?
I know, right?
I'm just saying, like, so look, one thing leads to another, right? And I think this is why we're seeing more and more layoffs in the media. This is Washington Post. They said that they think there are going to be major cuts because they have not been able to pivot to profit. The Guardian. I'm going to the Guardian. Here's another one, left-wing outlet. 50% off, guys. Hurry. And like, look at these giant yellow arrows. Claim discount. It looks like a damn... like an advertisement for like an Ollie's or something. Continue, 50% off. And then you go to the bottom of the article here. 50% off, guys. Please, somebody just buy our shit so we don't lose our jobs. They're even like, at this unsettling time, we're offering 50% off our most impactful monthly support option. In his first presidency, Trump called journalists the enemy. Trump. That's all it is. That's all they care about. It's yellow. All these sites are. It's yellow just, journalism.
But they're not. It's not. Yeah. They're just not. They're not even doing their job. But the Wired thing really got me because it was like I go there looking for tech stuff. I'm like, so what's going on tech wise? Because we cover tech here a lot. Kneon especially because he comes from a tech background, and we were like, well, what's going on with tech? Anything interesting that we could talk about, especially if it crosses over to pop culture. And I sent a shots to Kneon. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all just TDS stuff. And that's why he wanted to do a video.
And that was the story for me because I haven't really been paying much attention to Wired lately.
Oh, this is how it's been like across the board on a lot of these sites. I've been on there, and that's. And meanwhile, Kotaku and stuff, so like walking the stuff back some, and places like Wired are like going deeper and deeper in.
Well, let's go see if Kotaku's actually if it's all.
They had walked it back. I don't know if they still are, but I know we've tracked before. They were like walking a lot of stuff back. But who knows?
See. Well, we have Dr. Disrespect. Okay, that's gaming related. High Guard. Okay, Mario Kart. Intel. High Guard. Okay. Tips and guides. Wow. This is like, look, top games, entertainment. Okay. So the Mario movie and Silent Hill and the Stranger Things skit. Okay. Well, I'll give you that because it's entertainment. Look, deals. Look, there's more tech news on the homepage of fucking Kotaku.
Yeah. And Kotaku was really bad. And then the people that took over, they're like, you're going to walk it back and go back to gaming. And they did. And now Wired is going the opposite way, where they're just like, let's go more TDS. And that's what they're doing.
I don't see anything on here about Trump.
There was something about ICE agents above, but that's about it.
Oh, yeah. Man allegedly pretending to be an ICE agent broke into house. Yeah, but it dealt with the PlayStation. It wasn't just, I'm
just saying there's when Kotaku is more news-based. What's that tell you?
Now, this I knew was going to happen. This is, they're talking about the M64 from Mod Retro. So they're like, one of the main things is distinguish Nintendo 64 clone, the M64 from the rival device, the Analog 3D, beyond being sold by an international arms dealer, is a translucent shell.
They just won't give that up. They're so stupid.
Do they keep going on and on and on about it? Not really. They just have to mention it in the lead. But it's not, look, they've, and I think I've said this before, Kotaku actually has kind of turned it around. This is what Kotaku used to be like before the TDS of 2015, 2016.
Yeah, and then they got basically told you need to walk it back.
Yeah.
And now they are. And then Wired's so the opposite, and they're just going, full Reddit over there.
Well, actually, Reddit's even calling them. I mean, that's what's so weird.
But it's when Reddit 30% of Reddit.
When Reddit calls you out, and the thing is, I used to read, and I remember when Wired bought Reddit, but I was on Reddit before Wired.
They bought into Reddit. They didn't buy it.
They bought into it, yeah. But I remember that being like a big deal, and everybody used to read Wired, and then there was a whole controversy that all the Wired articles wound up on the front page of Reddit all the time, of course.
Well, now they're just like batshit political.
They're all
not even about
political.
Tech for the most part, or if it is tech, it's like a tech skin to get political,
yes,
points and pandering in. It's not even about being a tech blog anymore. And I think these blogs need to go back to what their core principles are.
Here we go, guys. Wired. Redditors are mounting a resistance against ICE. That's everything in one place.
When was that written?
Today.
Yes, there you go. It's all, and they're all
2 hours ago.
And they expect people. They count on people not knowing that, because Wired's Condé Nast, yes, and Condé Nast is owned by the same place who owns a big stake of Reddit, who's calling shots at Reddit. But you don't know that unless you dig. People don't realize that everything's so interconnected unless you look.
Yeah.
But they're interconnected. The same people behind Condé Nast also are doing a lot of shit over at Reddit. They have 30% stake in Reddit.
Yep.
And Comcast or Charter Communications, and they have Warner Brothers Discovery stake. I mean, it's not super high over there though.
But it's a very small group of people control everything you consume, and then they get mad when we have outliers. So then they try to go to the platform to get people booted or reined in or whatever.
Well, it's not even just that, though. It's just I don't think people realize that there's you have the illusion of choice. That there's all these different websites out here that if you don't like this one, you can go to that one. But then it's going to turn out a lot of them are owned by the same groups of people. Now, you just don't realize it.
This is what's so weird, though, because the guy that owns the company, the Advanced Publications, the guy that owns it, he greenlit The Art of the Deal, the ghost-written Trump book that falsely portrayed the bankruptcy-prone real estate developer as a brilliant business mind. He knew it was all make-believe, and he published it nonetheless. He considered him a friend, and now all their outlets are like, Trump, 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 Trump,
That is
Trump.
funny.
I don't know. It's wild. Look, this is why nobody trusts mainstream media anymore. And
this isn't even major. I'm just like, I go to Wired for tech news, and that's what you get right away as soon as you walk in.
I'm sorry. Did you want to read about hard drives? Well, let me interest you in the story about ICE and civil disruption and unrest and potential civil war. Let's do that, because that's what
And let's promote Reddit too while we're at it, because they own that. So
oh my god,
they own a controlling stake.
Yeah, it just feels like there are some people I think that want 2016, 2017 to make a comeback, because it's again good for business.
I just want them all to lay down and get a grip with reality.
Well, the reality is they're all getting laid off is the reality. And they're talking, the Post is going to lay off like 10% of their newsroom again. And then they're like, yeah, the billionaire owner, Jeff Bezos, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's ending. And that's why they're doing and saying what. I think some of them just don't give a shit anymore. They're just like, well, I'm going to be gone anyway, so might as well just publish what I want. But good on Kotaku for attempting to be a little more middle of the road.
They said they were going to walk it back, and they seemed that they did. But.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there were some threats, like you walk it back or you walk out the door. We're going to do what we have to do. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.